Good evening. Once again, good evening to our viewers. Good evening to everyone watching this today. Welcome to our session again. I believe my hosts are online. We do have my co-host, Jaffet Hammond, and also our host, our delegate from Ghana, King and Misty. Guys, welcome. I know it's been a while. We've been on more than a bit of hiatus. We've been gone for a while, but we're back again. We appreciate every guys watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or audio streaming networks. We'd like to welcome you guys. So, Misty, you can go ahead and just say a little hi to your folks, and then Jeff, you go ahead. We get started.
Okay. So it's great to be back. It's been a long time we've gone off, but we are back with good news, better information, a lot of research, and I hope we are not going off anymore anytime soon.
No, we're not. Jeff, you go ahead, just say a few words, and then let's get started.
First of all, I want to acknowledge. I mean, did you really take the jersey off?
I didn't want to say anything before.
So for security reasons, I didn't want to. Wait.
I really did not want to say anything, but
don't let Chelsea and their loss. Who they lose to today? Yeah,
I want to support the team today, and I forgot to take it off because we didn't do so.
Today was a sad day. Today was a sad day, but yeah, glad to be back. Like Amisi said, we've been gone for a while, but glad to be back. Hopefully, we don't take that long of a break again. And we're 2 weeks from the World Cup, so looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, welcome again. Welcome back. We do have a lot to discuss today. Number one, I think we chatted a little briefly in the backstage. I'm not sure. We start our session out with painfully sad but true. And I think with one of our local players who at one point in his life was at a very height of his career in Ghana. I'm not even sure. I can't really put a false narrative out there about it, but I don't know if you guys can probably back me up. Did Dumbote ever play international? I can't.
Oh yes. He did a little bit of Sweden and Israel. Yes, okay. Before back. I think the Israel was when he had the issue of him stealing bear sheets and from the hotel, and his team sacked him. I don't know if you heard that story sometime back.
I did hear that story, but I actually thought they went away for one of those African champions.
No.
I actually didn't know he was doing that. Well, that sums up our session then, because I actually wanted to talk about the mere fact that he, during his interview recently, his actual aim is to coach Barcelona or Real Madrid, as a local player. And I know how invested Misty is in these local players and how much he believes they can go far. Well, just making a pun, I always believe that. But with that being said,
quick question. The A team or the B team, or is there a D team? I'm just wondering.
He has dreams, man. And
yeah, of course we all have dreams. But I'm just wondering which team.
He's definitely going to. And obviously we do see Freeman, in the comment section, going off already. But it's as fun as it is, that's the truth. And it's good that these local players have these kind of dreams. And I admire and I hope that, at some point in time, it'll take them a lot further than, what it is that they're hoping to achieve.
Don Bote you should go on YouTube and listen to his interviews. he has this mind, like this Ibrahimovic mindset. He thinks he's the best. He still says till now, there's no local player better than him. He still says he plays free kick better than Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. He still thinks he's like, I don't know how he thinks. So sometimes you just understand him. He's not normal.
How old is he? 40 years?
Oh, he said he's 36. And his
well, I don't know why he's saying he said he's 36. What, you don't believe? You don't believe it?
Or has he was 12 years when he gave birth to his son or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's move on.
Well, good to have that session out of the way. Freeman, you're right. We did go MIA, but we're back, and like our co-host said, hopefully we're going to be here for a while, and we plan to stick around with the World Cup right around the corner. Now, guys, let's talk. I'm actually trying to project this on the on there, but let's talk. I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen the provisional squad that we've actually taken. We've submitted, just put out, or the coaches have actually put out to the world to see our 56-man squad. And as it stands, I know there are a few players that a lot of folks were just hoping to be featured, and one of the players that was not on there was Callum Hudson-Odoi, and has become like a topic of discussion. And as of last night, I was actually watching a podcast, and they did talk about that. I know, Amisi, you probably might know a little bit of insight, given that you are a little more in Ghana right now. So, what is the situation with Callum Hudson-Odoi?
Okay, so from what we are hearing back home, I think he is still hoping. The first thing is he's still hoping to get a call up into the English team because, one, he's playing often now with Bayern Leverkusen. He has a new role now as a number 10 from the wings, and even though he's not scoring a lot of goals, I think in the Champions League. I've not watched most of the game, but I've heard he's been doing so well. So he's hoping. And the other thing is about if he has to switch nationality, it should be around 17th November, which by then the list should have gone to FIFA, the final 26-man list. So I think that's the only issue with him. But he wants to play for Ghana too. So he's a little bit confused now. But he's hoping that fine, if the list he doesn't get into the English team, then maybe after the World Cup he'll still come straight to Ghana for the AFCON qualifiers and other things. But so we're all worried and sad about it. But
so let me see. Let me just, everything you said in the past 45 seconds, let me say it in version. We are his backup.
Oh, definitely. Oh no, of course. See, we are Iñaki Williams' backup. We were his Nico Williams, his brother's backup. We are who else? Kofi Tre's backup. No, see, let's be honest. None of them will choose Ghana ahead of England or ahead of the.
Of course. Hey, it's like you getting to choose the prettiest girl in the room, right? Of course. Yes. But the thing is, that girl has to like you back. That's the whole thing. And I don't get maybe if I'm in that position, I might take a different thought process or mentality to it, or I might be biased towards one way or the other. But like they're going to do to these players, and we all see it coming from a mile away. They will cap them and then they will bench them.
Yes.
Because look, even Chelsea is not trying to play you on a regular basis. And there are players in the Premier League who are applying their trade as hard as they can and still can't get a starting, perch in the English team. Getting a call up for them is not the achievement. Like being able to actually get playing time, be featured, play for your quote unquote country is the goal here. And so I don't get it. For me, it's like, if they're not on this, I guess, for Callum Hudson-Odoi, like if he's not on this preliminary squad list, he's not going to the World Cup for Ghana.
Yes.
If he gets on England, good for him. But maybe for me, it's like we've gotten to a point where he's not going to play for Ghana. And let's move on from it, because that whole sideshow is getting too much. Because there's also Edin Ketia, who is also in a similar boat. Like, you know, and you're not getting today. Arsenal played and you didn't get 1 minute of playing time, right? And this was like a really important game for Arsenal that they played today, and you didn't get 1 minute of playing time. So where do they think? Like, you have Sancho is getting more playing time in the Premier League than these two players, and Sancho is probably not going to the World Cup right now, right? You have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's not going to the World Cup. You have all these players who are actually like, if you are getting even if you are getting playing time in the Premier League right now, they're still ranked ahead of you, and they're not going to the World Cup. So who's advising these players? Like, I'm just curious. I'm not saying this to say that they should come and play for Ghana by force, but it's really curious who's like in their ear and how they're thinking about these things. It's very curious to me.
Okay, so can I ask you guys? You guys have lived in the States for some time, and you know a lot of kids who were born there. And I feel sometimes they feel more maybe American than Ghanaian. I don't know how their mind so maybe that's how he feels. He feels more British than Ghanaian. So
of course, yeah,
that connection. So of course, if England calls him, that is his like real love. Ghana is just okay. Let me come and play because I want to play in the World Cup. So maybe just feel like you feel more British than Ghanaian.
So I agree with that, and I think that's the emotional side of things, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas like you're a player who should have a team of like business-minded advisors around you, right? And certain things are business decisions you're making, right? Yes, of course. If you gave me the chance to go naturalize and play for Germany tomorrow, I would drop Ghana like and move, right? Right. So I get that part, right? But the reason that doesn't mean that I don't love Ghana. That doesn't mean that I have something against Ghana, right? But if I take the two entities, right, going into the cup or the tournament that we're gonna go play, right, and I'm thinking about it, and it's like it's not just which team is gonna take me far, but as an individual, right, as like the CEO of me and my business, what is the best move going forward for me? That's why I think Kevin Prince Boateng's career was saved by Ghana. By Ghana, easily. Like, it was because of Ghana that Kevin Prince Boateng ended up even going to play, even if he didn't get a lot of playing time for Barcelona, right? Yeah. It projected his career, not because he, played so well against Germany when Ghana played against Germany, or in the World Cup or anything, but mostly because he was given the platform. And thinking about it from a business perspective, his competition was low. Callum Hudson-Odoi will walk into this team, right? Edin Ketia probably walk into this team. So for me, as from a business perspective, is you're not walking into England is not even trying to call you, right? They have to get to a point of desperation before they even think about you, right? So if you're thinking about it that way, it's like, okay, cool. England is like the pretty girl in the room, and it's like everybody, all the attention will be there. And but to tell me as a player who's loves the game, I've been playing my whole life, that just come and sit on the bench and wear a jersey and that should be enough. That's not going to be enough for me. I want to be on the pitch. I want to make the roster. I want to be able to play. But knowing that right now, even getting on the preliminary list is a tough sell for you. What makes you think that when we get to picking a starting 11, I'm actually going to get picked? Or if it's 85th minute and Southgate is looking for someone to change the pace of the game, he's going to call either one of you. He has so many options at his, available to him. So for me, it's a business decision more than it's an emotional one. And I get it. If you attach the emotion to aspect to it, I get it. But I'm like, when you're Dombote's age, right, and you're looking back on your career, you can try to paint it whatever you want to paint it and have people think of it, whatever they want to think of it. But everybody will know the truth. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't do much with your career. And that's the extent of it. Like, to me, that's how I see it. So if it was my son, if it was my brother, if I was a manager to any of these players, it's, hey, what gets you what you need first? put yourself first. At the very least, just put yourself first. People get so mad, and that's why I think before we left, Sam, we used to argue about how you feel like all these players come, foreign players, and just take advantage of Ghana, use it as a platform. And I'm like, well, yeah. Personally, for me, I don't care. If you're going to do that, but in doing so, you're winning games for us, why do I care why you're here? Do you get what I'm saying? It's a business. We need people who are here to deliver results. And you're seeing yourself as, this is the one team I can go into this tournament and be able to feature and deliver results and be able to drive my career in the direction I want to take it. Take that opportunity and run with it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if you're not going to take it, you're going to attach the emotional aspect to it. Good luck. But you're going to look back on it 10, 15 years from now and wish, man, just one small decision. If I had just gone left instead of right, my career would have ended up somewhere very different. So I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah, well, so I like to counter that, especially what Mr. said. So let's look at a very prolific player like Riyad Mahrez, who plays for Manchester City. Mahrez was actually born in France. He actually grew up in France. He started his career at the bottom of France, the French, I think League 3 or something like that, if I can remember. And, he had a call up to the French national team. Now, this is some of the things that I look at. And I feel like, what they say, that history does not need to repeat itself. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when it comes to these African players, we tend to have history repeat itself almost every single day. We look at the some of these players like the Balotellis. We look at the player, the Brighton forward who played just a little bit on the English national team.
Welbeck.
I'm sorry,
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck. Yeah. We look at these players. Sorry, Dan Welbeck. We look at these players who eventually have actually. I feel like sometimes when people make certain decisions, right, and whether it has to be like an emotional aspect, whether it has to be like cultural connection, or whether it has to be business, when they go through that certain path, and then we actually tend to sit back and look at all these rather than just taking it and using it as a stepping stone to be like, okay, we don't want to be in that position. We don't do that, and these are some of the things that's really hurting our players, up until this stage. Like Jeff was saying, I believe it. I don't think I'm see what you're saying, being outside of the country for so long. I don't think it's all about any connection. I think as a player, what you have to do, knowing that it's your bread and butter, you have to think about the business first, and that's what it is. And you have to go where you know that you can succeed. There are so many players who actually got the, I feel like they got the opportunity to be at a higher stage because they actually came into the national team and just were able to show off their skills. Look at a player, Mario Götze. No one cared about Mario Götze at the time. He came in there in the German national team. He scored that winning goal, and that was it. They won the World Cup for Germany. Look at a player like Kevin Prince Boateng. Did the same thing. He came out there and just stood out. He used to play for Portsmouth. Now, we were chasing all these players, and guess what? Like we're saying, they tend to use us as a backup plan. You do realize Kevin Prince wanted to play for Germany so bad, but because that did not work out, we tend to use these players as a backup plan. And this will go back to exactly what we've been talking about for so long, right? They will use us as a backup plan. And then when they do, they're able to just, outshine, whatever expectations that, folks had of them. And they'll elevate themselves. And when they do, guess what? We don't see them again. So with this Cho situation, of course, he actually fought for transfer, from what I know, being a Chelsea fan, he fought for transfer out of Chelsea to get regular football, just so that he can play more and be able to actually just perform on the national team. But to me, the news that came out of Ghana, the news that came out of the world was he actually got his Ghana passport, meaning he's a citizen of Ghana. So I'm not sure how that whole, when this, as we're looking at this here, I don't know how when the 56-man squad came out, I'm not sure how his name was on it. And I don't even know. Honestly, before we actually just dive, because I know when we talk about Cho, it's definitely just going to, bring back a whole bunch of, just going to put us in the pipeline to talk about a whole lot of things. I just want us to focus on this 56-man squad, right? And I think we talked about this, 56. and only one local player in it, and he's a goalie.
No, there are more local players.
Yeah,
they're going to be dropped. That's the thing. They're going to be the first ones to get dropped.
Oh, some.
And I think during our Brazil game, it's quite funny we didn't host the show because we were definitely, when I caught up with you after the Brazil team, there was one player that you were highly disappointed in. And I think on the defensive side, he's the number one on there, with being Dennis Odoi. And I'll be highly disappointed if we took him to the World Cup, with him being one of the main guys we have to depend on. Okay. Again, with our friendly coming up on November 17th with Switzerland, I don't know how good I feel with our team going out there to, a lot of people are saying we are the underdogs, but you have to realize that, going into the World Cup, the underdog team that we had before, it's not the same as it is right now. The underdog teams that we had before have been playing together for so long. They know their mistakes. They knew their mistakes. They knew the strength. They knew everybody. They had been playing together locally before they kind of all split up to go play international. These are just new. And so again, what are the expectations that that we're hoping to come out of this squad? Like, what are the expectations? Mr. E, go ahead.
Okay, so so there are two things. The 55-man list, I could mention. We know those going for the World Cup. I can mention the 26 players going for. It's just a huge number, just to show FIFA we are doing something. I'm also expect. I don't want her to put a lot of pressure on this team going to the World Cup. The World Cup should be a learning phase for them, for us to make, because they're actually a young team. We really have young players in there, so it should be a learning phase. So we use the World Cup as a platform to build a better team from this list. And so I think, I actually believe the players in there are those who deserve to be called. It was just one player that everyone was surprised. I don't know if you've heard about Bernard Tepete. He plays in the Europa League. He's with the Bulgaria side. He's playing so well, has scored about 8 goals, and we still don't know why he wasn't called into this team. And so, but I think I actually believe in their list. There are a lot of young players, and there are players who really want to learn. It's a mix-up or a blend of very few experienced players. I always say, you don't expect. I would even say, okay, that this team or the squad we have here may, and I repeat, may be better than the 2010 and 2006 squad in terms of the teams they play and the quality some of them possess. See, let's not pretend. In 2010, when we were going for the World Cup, take out the 8 and the 20 guys, the Milovan added to the main team. We didn't actually have like big players then. Sule Muntari was with Inter Milan but wasn't playing regularly. Steven Appiah was clubless. And I repeat, Steven Appiah was a clubless player. He wasn't playing for any club at that time. Kelvin Prince Boateng, of course, Portsmouth had, I think, gone on relegation, and they were building. Olele was also like walking around in Turkey looking for a team. But of course, he had a team, but he wasn't playing so well. Who else? We didn't have really top stars. But at least with this team, you could mention few players who are playing in the Champions League, the Europa Leagues, because with Dennis Odoi, if he was that bad, his team never lost a match. He played for Club Brugge in Belgium. His team never lost a match in the Champions League. Their team actually, I think, topped their group. You understand? And he never missed one game. So he's playing regularly. He's in the Champions League. We could mention a lot of them who are playing more. Alexander Djiku's team is doing well. He's even the captain of the team. So I think we really have good individual players who play for better teams or good teams as a squad than the teamwork. The one thing that helped the 2010 and 2006 group they had played for a long time. It was the same team that migrated from the I think 2004, 2002 under 20s, and they all moved into the 2006 World Cup. Most of them were. So that's what they had, and this team didn't have. So I believe, yeah, they are individuals, but it's for a good team for the future. We should just use this team to plan for the future, not like.
I'm with you. I'm with you because I think when we talked about this a few months ago, where we said collectively we all agreed that our expectations for this World Cup should be very low, right?
Yes.
And I remember saying back then, as we get closer, we might lose sight of that expectation, the excitement, and then we might start having like unrealistic expectations. And I feel like with 2 weeks to go, it's starting to creep in, where people are starting to kind of look and go, well, why can't we expect them to go and win? And I'm like, well, it's the same. We knew of all of these players back then. Guess what we're doing? We were praying that we could get Tariq Lamptey. We were praying that we could get the Inaki Williams. We were praying. Even with those, we kept saying, even if we get all those players, our expectations should still be a little measured. And I think that's where we are. I'm 100% with you in the sense that let this team go get the living crap beat out of them in the World Cup, right? Maybe also in the next AFCON, right? But gradually build this team, because the good thing is Tariq Lamptey, Hudson, all these are kids. They're young.
Yeah.
You're going to get at least 2 or 3 more, hopefully 3 more World Cups out of them, right? We're on the cusp of the first World Cup, and now we're pulling this team together. If we're able to keep this team together, we could get a good, solid 2 World Cups out of them, right? That gives us a 4-year runway to be able to prepare for the next World Cup. This World Cup is not it. I mean, if anything has been, like in previous, they say if you're not scared of death, look at sleep, right? Or whatever they say, right? But the sense, look at this AFCON that just happened. Yeah. We got by the skin of our teeth, got by Nigeria to get to this World Cup. We didn't blow Nigeria. We didn't win the game against Nigeria. It was a way technicality that got us here, right? Yeah. And even like the primary targets that this technical team has had for players, Hudson Odoi and Nketiah and whatnot, they've also not. It's almost like a club coach not getting his transfer targets. We can now start to think that this team should be able to go and push against. Now, of course, we'll be behind them, we'll support them, but I think expectations should be very measured, because if not, we're going to come out of this World Cup. Realistically speaking, or the reality is they're not going to perform well. But then because we have unrealistic expectations, it's going to start sowing some discord within the team. And before you know, leading up to the next 4 years to the next World Cup, we still don't have that chemistry that we need to have, right? So unfortunately, we didn't have these players all come through, like like an under 20 or an 17 team and all of that. We're now pulling them from. Look at this team, like they're from all over the world, right? Yeah. But now we have opportunity. Dennis Odoi in a year or 2 from now is going to retire. He's an old man. He's going to retire. Keep the core of the team and let's gradually build it. We can't go into this World Cup thinking we're going to look. Look at the group we're in. Like, come on. You put England in that group and they might not make it out of our group. And England has a better chance at this World Cup than we do. You put England in there, England, Uruguay, Portugal, and South Korea, England might not make it out. Right. So for me, I'm like, we need to temper our expectations very much so. But Sam, I think to your point, and I agree with you, is the fact that we're looking at this and it seems like we should be at this point after all these years, right? We should be at a point where we can have some confidence. We should have some confidence in our team. We should be, right? A lot of effort, a lot of firings and rehirings, and there's a lot of work that has gone into it. And then 2 weeks from the World Cup, we're now pulling this Feferkobo team where it's like last minute. We're now somebody's trying to wait to the 17th of the month to get their passport. It's like Hudson Odoi has never even played a game with us, right? And we're hoping to take him to the World Cup so that he can go and feature and hopefully win games for us. We should be at a better point. But the thing is, they said that the best time to do something was yesterday. The second best time is right now. We have the opportunity to do it now. We should have done it years ago. We didn't. but we have the opportunity to do it right now. Let's focus on doing it right now, beginning to pull this young squad together, and maybe use like the next AFCON as like the benchmark to see, okay, are we on the right path? Are we gradually getting to where we want to get to? But if we're thinking that over the next 2 weeks, something is going to happen and this team is going to go in there, if they win a game, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be ecstatic. But I'm not going to lose sight of reality and begin thinking, oh, maybe we could go for quarterfinals. I'm just personally not there.
So, thank you, guys. So, before we go for a quick commercial break, I actually want to say that there's something that you said, and our technical team, if you guys can project the squad for the 2010 World Cup. I think I was actually having this debate with one of the guys today after soccer, and we talk about the team that we have, the experience that we have, and I guarantee you, we have no experience. I mean, see, as a long-term, soccer player or football player, we've been playing since we were like kids. We've been watching. We've been doing this just as long as much as Jeff has. This team has no experience. We talk about 2010 World Cup and look at the names that we have. Actually, technical team, if you could just project that, we'd be very glad. We actually had a team with full experience, right? Granted, Stephen Appiah was clubless. You cannot pinpoint one player that we're actually taking, even in a 55-man squad, that has more experience or that has similar experience than actually Stephen Appiah has.
Sam, are you saying in a sense of if you were to take Stephen Appiah in 2010 and put it alongside this player today, that Stephen Appiah is a better player than this player? I would say Thomas Partey is a better player right now than Stephen Appiah was in 2010.
In his prime? Thomas Partey is in his prime.
Stephen Appiah was not in his prime.
No, let's check this.
He was not in his prime in 2010.
How many games do we feature him, and how many times had he been in the World Cup with us? So most of the time, Jeff, we talk about
2006. He was in his prime. Stephen Appiah.
So he had been there. We talk about locker room experience. We talk about how he can.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, if as a coach, right, I have the opportunity to pick a midfielder, and I have Stephen Appiah of 2010 and Thomas Partey of 2022 to pick. I'm picking Thomas Partey of 2022. Why? Because Stephen Appiah is Thomas Partey of 2027.
Yeah,
like he's past his prime at 2010. That's the only point I'm trying to make. I get your point. Like it's easy to like know of his prime and know of his capacity, and maybe lose sight of the fact that in 2010, at that period of time, Stephen Appiah was not the Stephen Appiah of 2006.
And that's what I'm saying. We're not comparing like Stephen Appiah of 2006 is actually Thomas Partey of 2022 right now, and that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
He was in his prime then, right? Now let's just go down the list, and you cannot tell me these players and how far they have actually come playing together for so long. You can compare it to this. So when you talk about, we have players playing regular, we have players. When Amisi talks about we have players playing regular football and everything, honestly, I think that is crap. We have 34-year-old man playing regular football. It is not at the level. Listen, this is the World Cup. We are talking about the best of the best players who are being called from.
Sam.
How old was John Mensah then?
Yes, Sam.
According to books, he was 23.
No. John Mensah's real age.
No. According to books, he was 23. And John Mensah did play his heart out.
Sam, you see, when you say a player is playing crap, I don't get you. His team, which league is apart from the national leagues of each European country, the Champions League is the best league or the best tournament people watch. Okay, maybe after the World Cup. And you are saying a player plays crap and he starts for his club and plays regularly, and his club top their league and their group.
I think
I don't get you.
I missed it. On this list, I think the only player who fits that bill would have been Asamoah, the bottom right, the guy at the bottom.
Kodjo Asamoah.
Yeah,
yes, and even at that time, Kodjo Asamoah had issues with Conte then, because he was then deployed as a wing back, if you remember. Yep. And that was very difficult for him to adapt from being a central. So look at this list. Can you compare any of them? Quincy Abeye, what was he doing? Stephen Aholi was with Hearts of Lions. Raheem Ayew was clubless, was with, I think, one local team. Look at this team. And you are comparing the. See, I agree. This team, they are the 2022 team individually are very good, but they've not played together for a long time. I know a miracle might happen and we'll go through the group stage, which, see, historically, even with this 2010 team that played often or where they lost all their friendlies before the World Cup. The only match they won was against Latvia. And that match was the first match Kelvin Prince Boateng started in. And Latvia is not a team that you should win, but we were beaten by every team we met. You understand? But for a reason, go to a World Cup and a miracle happened.
Sure, boys.
You understand?
So see, when you talk about when you say miracle, that's when I disagree with you, man. We were one of the most feared teams. We were one of the most.
Let's not pretend we're not one of them.
It was no miracle. Our defense played their heart out. We actually held teams to on the average, and I would definitely
our defense, as you said, we changed. We never had a center pair that played 2 matches continuous in that World Cup. As Vossa started, got injured, Lee Addy came in, and Jonathan Mensah played with John Mensah. And so I'm telling you, I think 2010 one was the coach's job, and the coach did a very good job with that 1 goal project of defense. Let's see what Otuado will do with this team. I think Otuado is, because I don't know if it's because of his Dortmund experience where he trains a lot of kids in code. He likes a lot of experimenting, which is one issue I have with him as a coach, because your coach should have a strategy and deploy. If you are playing a 3-back system, let the team master it. Don't go, okay, let me try, because if you could go back to the Brazil friendly, he's out with a 4-back, which we know is not you, the coach, the system you are used to. You are used to a 3-back system. You deployed a 4-2-2, a 4-4-2 system, and it didn't work for you. You understand?
But I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. How many matches has he played that we can say that he should have he's played like 3 matches?
Yes.
So I think I want to give him a little bit of rope to say that in those 3 matches, he's still trying to find out, first of all, who's his first 11. He doesn't even know. He has no idea.
Good. So
I'm saying that the experimenting is actually him still trying to find his starting 11, and also find the formation that actually works for that starting 11.
And he's actually, I always feel he's actually in a very tight corner, because every day new players come in, and you're a new coach, and you know how the national team is. We didn't have a fixed team. There's a team that was going through transition from aging players leaving the team and other things. So I actually feel for him. That's what I'm saying. That, and unfortunately for him too, we don't have time. The season is not ending for us to have about a month to train as a national team. I think the last match is played around 10 for the various leagues, and you have to go into your national team, and in about 10 or 12 days, you are playing your first game in the World Cup, which is very tight. Usually, if it's a World Cup season, the league ends early May, maybe 4th May. You have about 1 month to the World Cup, the team build. That's where you have the team build. So it's not easy, but I'm just saying that let's hope a miracle happens, because of course it's not his fault. Because he has the men, he has the individual players, but we don't have a team. And I don't think they have enough time to also train.
So wait, let me see. I really will pull this video back, and I'll play it in our next session, because you were the same person when I criticized this coach's knowledge and his ability to be able to, take Ghana to the next level. You had so much faith in him, and now you're saying that we should give him time and we should do this. And now I feel like you're advocating for the failure that he had, in Brazil, because I really thought, and as a coach of his caliber, I thought he was actually going to come in and actually just give us something that we had never seen. And when you talk about this, he's not
Eric Ten Hag. He's not Eric Ten Hag. never hard.
No, that's it. And this is why I really believe that we're gonna fail, and it's not even just this World Cup. We continue this path of actually just always looking to bring like all these foreign players in, and then almost every single World Cup, we always tight. I don't know if you've looked at the trend of Ghana going into the World Cup since we made our first appearance. We actually have this I don't know what it is. We have this analogy of, okay, let's get this player who plays outside, and then when they come in, it's like we don't exactly know how they fit in. That we always find out how they fit during the games, which is a bit too late. This news actually broke out not yesterday, like last week. Ghana is one of the few players, which I believe is a very bad tactical decision, whoever made that decision. Ghana is one of the few teams that's actually playing a friendly 3 days before the World Cup starts. 3 days.
No, some.
Not every
some.
team. I mean, wait. Not every team. I can show.
Our first match is not on the 20th. Our first match is
I know.
On the 24th.
I'm not saying the first match is on the 20th. We are starting the World Cup on the 20th. We're playing a friendly on November 17th. So what if we have injury?
But Sam, I don't know if you remember, in 2014, they came to play before flying to Brazil, flying to Rio. They came and played in Miami. They came and played a friendly in Miami the day before they flew to Brazil. And even with that, our first game was maybe 3 days after that. I'm not saying it's a good practice, but I'm just saying it's not out of the norm.
So we have this system where we just wait till crunch time, and then we try.
When would he have played his? First of all,
that is that. See,
the Premier League
there are no
games left.
Listen, there are no FIFA friendly days right now till the league breaks for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The leagues are breaking from, I think, 10 to 12, between 10th and 12th November, before the league breaks. That is the only window he has. See, at this point, every country going to the World Cup is in a tight. England is complaining now because you can't release the players 3 days, 4 days to their first match. It's very tight. You understand? So it's not his fault. We have been lucky to have a team like Switzerland, who's also playing in the World Cup, play with us. And this thing happened in 2014. I remember the match that what's his name? One player got injured against Holland, the Netherlands national team.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a similar thing. It's always done. Even I think we really need a friendly to get our team into place. At least know the core starting 11, because I know a lot of new players have come in. The only thing I feel now is he should have just mentioned his straight 26.
26, yeah.
And just now hold the regular Zoom meetings with the 26, show them or teach them the tactics, have regular meetings. I don't know how send them videos, or it should be more tactical virtual meetings now. Of course, the 55, we know most of them are just for online publicity. Most of them we know those who are going for the World Cup. We can all sit here and mention the 26-man list right now. You understand? So I don't know why he even went straight. Well, I know other countries did. I think Japan did straight 26, and that was it. There's no time. And if the 55 were going to even meet in a camping base, maybe in Doha, or of course, they are playing Doha, so maybe in Saudi Arabia or Dubai to train before he picks his 26, I don't have a problem. But you mention or you name a 55-man list where you are never going to even meet, to even train. And by 17th, you have to take, I think, about 20-something out and leave 26. It wasn't necessary. He should have just gone straight to the point. 26 players, start meeting and tactical work now. So when you meet in your camping base, it just goes straight to the field work. That is it.
And Sam, I think for me, I hear what you're saying. It's like we're in an unfortunate position. Did we put ourselves there? Partly, maybe. For the bigger part, really, I still don't think this World Cup is going to end up two things. Key players are not going to make it to the World Cup. Look at Son. Look at all these players who are getting injured leading up to their World Cup, right? it's in the middle of the season. This is injury period. It's in the middle of the season. So key players are not going to feature because they're going to be injured going in. Coming out, you're going to have a lot of key players not coming back to their club teams because there's going to be a lot of injuries because of the fatigue that players are going to experience. It was just a bad call. I don't know what by law is required that it has to be in the year of 2022. We could have done it the same way they did the Olympics. Call it 2022, but have it in 2023. Have a full break, a month for teams to gel. One article I was reading last time, I don't know if it was on Twitter or whatever. They're saying like some of the African teams, we cannot afford. So ideally, some of the teams would like to rent out training facilities in like Dubai and, some place that is in close proximity to Doha. So that, like, leading up to it, you're not flying players like overnight or something like that. So they were trying to get training facilities in Doha. But the Germanys and the USAs of the world who have all the money have rented out most of the training facilities. So now it's like you can't even get a training facility to go practice and get ready. It's just bad timing all around.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's been forced. But the thing is, the reality of it is we're here. It's going to happen, whether we like it or not. For me, I can see like the same kind of heartburn that you're having about it. I think that's the same heartburn Otoado is having in the sense that he's looking at it more so from the fact that, am I going to go into a World Cup with a squad that I would have only played with them one game, which was against like one of the teams that are tiered as potential winners of the entire World Cup? They played against Brazil, right? Playing against Brazil with that team is not the right barometer for where we are. Because England will play against Brazil tomorrow and they will get killed. It doesn't help us know that, we're at maybe level 4 of our development or maybe close to level 9. You can't tell. Brazil will knock you out of the park, right? So now he's trying to find a team that is closer to where we are so that he can see where our strengths are. We couldn't see where our strengths are against Brazil. He can see where our strengths are, but more importantly, see where the true gaps are and begin trying to fill it out. He's scrambling. Scrambling. So I hear what you're saying. I see what he's doing. I actually think you guys are on the same page. It's just how he's going about it is, let me get at least some valuable playing time under my belt with these players so that going to the World Cup, I can build the confidence that Anya, whatever the case may be, this is at the very least 26 men that 11 people who make up my core team. And here's my substitutes and my bench around it. Like, he's trying to figure that out. He's not had the opportunity to figure it out because as much as we're saying, right, it's what and I think that might be part of the reason why a 55-man list was released versus is they're still trying to figure out who those 26 are, right? And they don't want to make the hasty decision of dropping like a Jeffrey Schlupp or something like that. Jeffrey Schlupp has some experience. He might not be the best midfielder we have, but going back to the Steven Appiah point you're making, he has more experience than half of the players on here. So do you drop a Jeffrey Schlupp now because you know for a fact that Jeffrey Schlupp is not going to feature? Or do you actually stand back and go, maybe Jeffrey Schlupp might be good for the dressing room? So do you know what I'm saying? They're scrambling. I think this is just clear that they're scrambling. And we've gotten ourselves here. We're here now. We just have to make the best of it. I'm not making an excuse for him at all. I'm not.
Right, but I mean, you are not. But I mean, I do get your point, and it's valid to a certain point, right? And I always ask, is it really necessary? Because most of the time, you guys have been on teams. Most of the times when you go for trials or something like that, you have a certain number of games that you can actually play, and for those games, you feature all the players that are actually on the field just to see where everybody fits. Now, before we go for a quick commercial break and sell some products, now we have to think about this when we get back. And so you could take a crack at it when we get back. Do you think that we are being fair to the coaching team, given that he does not have maybe like enough time, just one game to try all these 56-man squad, or are we being unfair to the players? We think about that. Let's just sell some products and we're going to be right back. Stay with us.
They are 4 women. They are beautiful with brains. They are eloquent, decent, wise, and experienced. You have heard many. The funny. Now, it's time to hear the experience and the brainy. Meet Selena, Dorcas, Gifty, and Annette as they present the real in common getting. In common BISS chain, the dead, as a takre no assume the dead, the real in common getting. Showing live this and every Sunday, 7 p.m. on Era One Radio on Facebook and on YouTube, Era One Radio and on Taibo channel. Kaise, so we tie the real in common getting what brabon tete, we nyan konkonsa, we the real in common getting.
Well, welcome back, guys. Thanks for staying with us. Again, we'd like to welcome, if this is your first time watching at this Era One Sports, with Sam, Jeff, and Misty, all the way from Ghana. If you're watching us on Facebook, watching us on YouTube or audio streaming platforms, we'd like to welcome you. If you're joining us, we're talking about Ghana's chances in the World Cups and the tactical, practices that we have prepping us for the World Cup. Misty, I think you could take this and run with it. Do you think we are being unfair to the players, the 56-man squad that are going to be coming, or we are being unfair to the coach, given that, he only has one game to prep for the World Cup?
Well, it was for both sides. Of course, by the 17th, there wouldn't be the 55. It will be the 26.
By the 14th, actually.
By 14th, of course.
Yeah.
So by the match day, we'll have the 20. So that's why I said earlier that the 55 wasn't necessary at all. Because, of course, you shouldn't be. As a coach, at this time, you should know your core team going for the World Cup. Yes, so to the coach, it's not his fault. It's the calendar that made it so. So it's not like we are. I think to us or to him, maybe we are even helping him to even get a friendly for him at that time before the World Cup. And this friendly was actually called on by Switzerland because they'll be meeting, I think, Cameroon. So they actually need that friendly too. So it's we are not being fair. Of course, it's not our fault. It's the situation that made it so. And with the players, yes, you should. Few days to the World Cup, I don't expect the players to put in their all. It's just a warm-up game. So they should just play a little. And it's not about the results. And that's one problem I have with Ghanaians. When we are playing a friendly match, we are expecting to win every match because we are Ghana. But usually friendlies is for just making the tactical work, looking at your players, looking at your potential starting 11. So, yes, I think it's a good thing, but we shouldn't look at the results of that friendly. Even if we lose 10-0, I don't think it's a problem. Historically, as I said earlier, we've lost a lot of friendlies before World Cups, and we did well. See, in 2006, in our group, we were the least ranked. There was Czech was, I think, number
one in the world.
Number one in the world. Italy were way ahead of us. I remember USA was number 10 or something, but we still scaled through. So we should look at the friendly. The player should just manage. You don't go and put in your 100% so you get injured. It's a friendly game. Just enjoy. The coach, I'm sure the coach knows what he'll be looking at in that friendly. So it's okay.
Well, Jeff, you could take him around with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's not a matter of whether it's fair or not. It's fair. Like, thinking about things like that, in my opinion, is, can we change it? We can't. That's how I'm looking at it. We can't change it. It is what it is. We might as well just move with it. It's not fair, but then I think that what makes it irrelevant, whether it's fair or not, is the fact that, everybody is going through the same thing. So yeah, it's like Switzerland, England, everybody in the World Cup is going through the same thing. So for us, it's like, this is like where it's going to separate the men from the boys. It's like, okay, we're all in a tight spot. Everybody has been being tested. How can you make the best of your situation and be able to come out, on top? And so for me, it's not a matter of whether it's fair or not. It's knowing the challenges you have. Can you make it work? And if you can, good luck. You're going to enjoy the World Cup.
Well, this is the thing. Also, before we actually just head out, I mean, there is definitely one thing that we do want to obviously we cannot come and not talk about it. Ghana has again made history in this World Cup. We are the third youngest team going into the World Cup, and it seems like it's always some kind of a joke or as right now before we submitted 56 man average age was 27, and now it's dropped to 24.7, 24 years and 7 months. So again, it's a good thing for us, and I'm hoping that we can definitely take advantage of this young team that we so quote unquote have to.
Sam, I actually, it might not be a bad thing, or the fact that because we're working with a lot of these kids who are born outside.
Yeah,
it might be verifiable. Like we might be going to
even with our captain, we know he was born in France. We know his real age.
Yeah,
and he's the most experienced player we have in the team. Yes. So with the age, I believe it. 98% is right. Don't worry, it's a young team.
Well, before we head out again, we'd definitely like to discuss one last topic, and I think it's something that has been bugging a lot of people. Puma is, and I actually wanted to get before. Hold on, I just want my technical team to project it. So before we actually go on, Puma has actually struggled a little bit. The statistics came out, and this year Ghana's jersey is the least sold on the Puma website. And I just want to, of course, to get both of you guys nodding your head like, yeah, we expected that to happen, right? For the first time since Puma released all these national jerseys, especially Africa, and Ghana's jersey is the least sold. And if our technical team can project that, I'll be very happy. I just want to get your take on it, guys. I know we've been talking about this for a long time. We have been, trying to figure out exactly what is going on, how Ghana can actually just get back to the top in terms of, how we can actually be recognized. And I think if you look at a lot of teams, regardless of how good they are, I don't think U.S. has a bright future in terms of their soccer program. Obviously, no one can doubt that. Bright future, not now. But, it's the thing about the jerseys, being a football fan, you can actually have collective, you can have a collectible, just all these jerseys in your closet, everything in there. But why is it, or what is it that we're doing wrong? Is it that we talked about this before, is it that we need to switch, our partnership with Puma, or is it, I know that, they did this whole thing for all the, the players and the countries and everything. Do we necessarily need to switch right now, or is it something that we need to consider in the future?
Okay, so with Puma, I wish their executive or their rep for Africa comes to Ghana to see the number of jerseys people are wearing, which is not from them. See, a lot of people are purchasing the jerseys at the Togo rate, which is the cheapest. A lot of people would love to wear, trust me, Ghanaians are football fans. We would love to wear. I see people around wearing the jerseys to work and other things. But that is the 150 Ghana cedis one, which is now about maybe 10 US dollars. No, and this economic hardships, a lot of people can't purchase. How much is that? I think $89 or something. Just so people are wearing the jersey. If it's not on sale on the Puma website, it's their problem. People have the fake one, the fake Puma here, the jersey. So it's not about the love going down because the jerseys are not nice or something, but people will love it. But the cost, you understand? And the dollar has depreciated a lot against the cedi now, and that means $89 will be about 1,500 or 1,000 something cedis, 1,200 cedis. Trust me, it's going to be it's actually going to be tough for a lot of genuine Ghanaians who would love to wear. So it should, I'm sure that is why their sales of Ghana jerseys have gone down. And so I don't think switching to other brands, it will be the same issue. Trust me. And if you want to switch to other brands, it means your team should also perform well to make it more attractive for someone to bring a better offer than Puma is bringing. If you are not performing, you are not even. See, Senegal is even winning AFCON, going to the World Cup, and they are still signed on to Puma.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the only different country here is Nigeria, which has Nike. And Nigeria is because of their population. Trust me. You see what Puma did for everyone. Are you telling me Morocco or Tunisia don't have good people or good teams? But they did the same jerseys for them. See, Nike is with Nigeria because of their numbers. See, even if you have about the 150 or at about 150 or 300 million people, and you even have just 1 million of them buying the original Nike jerseys, you've broken to I'm sure you make a lot of money. But in our case, it's the other way around. Very few people, about just 10% people are buying the original jerseys. So it's not our fault. I think we have one of the best jerseys in the past 10 years. Trust me, this white jersey going to a World Cup will stand out to be one of the best, but the original sales will be very low. So Puma should understand we can't afford it.
So
no, wait, Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think every time we talk about this jersey thing, I have like part of the solution. I feel like in my head, I just don't want to say it out loud for Puma to just take it around with it. I want them to pay me for that strategy, right? But going back to what you're saying around Nigeria, right? I think what people need to realize is there is no price point that for Puma based in Germany that they're going to sell. And looking at their manufacturing costs, looking at their marketing, looking at everything, all the costs for the jersey, and then the little profit, whatever margin they want to put on top of it, there's no price point they're going to be able to set it for the Ghanaian market. That's just the reality of it. Yeah. You have to realize from a business standpoint that when you're making a Ghana jersey, you're not making it for the Ghanaian in Ghana.
Yeah.
Nigerian jerseys sold because Nigerians in the US and Europe purchase the mess out of those jerseys.
They're not even in the water.
Right? And so my thing is they need to start realizing that they're not marketing. Unfortunately, this sounds very horrible to say from a morality or whatever standpoint, but your market is not the Ghanaian in Ghana. Your market is the Ghanaian in the US. Who wants to represent, who's going to a bar where they're going to be people from Honduras, Ecuador, all these countries from, who wants to go buy a Ghanaian jersey? Because the Ghanaian in the US is harder for him to go get the fake jerseys, right? But for him, it's easy to go to soccer.com or any store and get the real jersey, right? So when you're pulling the marketing together, they're not marketing to us here. The reality of it is I've never been targeted, and maybe I might be, in a certain market segment, and so I'm not being targeted, but I've never seen anything related to that. They're targeting the wrong people because the average Ghanaian in Ghana, if you tell them that, forget them using their own money to buy. If I call my cousins in Ghana and say, hey, I want you to wear the Ghana jersey. I know you don't have the money for it, so I'm going to send you $130. Go and buy the Ghana jersey and wear it. And I send him the money. He's not buying that Ghana jersey and put it on his back. Onyemia. He's not. Do you know what I'm saying? So they just have to think about it a little bit more creatively and understand that their market is not in Ghana. Their market is a diaspora, right? And that's what Nike has tapped into, right? Nike realized that, Wizkid is cool in Nigeria, but Wizkid is touring every single American city and European city selling, So if you make him the ambassador for your jersey, you now tap into that market, right? If you come to Ghana, if your strategy is, I'm not sure who the brand ambassadors for this are, right? But if your brand ambassador is like a local Ghanaian celebrity, right? Sounds great for the local Ghanaian market. That celebrity is going to wear the authentic one because he got it as a sponsorship for free.
There you go.
But he cannot tell the next person next to him in Ghana to take out $130, however much thousands it is in cities, to go buy that jersey and wear it alongside him. So their marketing doesn't make sense to me. That's one. Two, the fact that it's like if you're, and maybe tagging on to the first point, if you're going to market it to us in the diaspora, your approach needs to be very different. How you design it, what goes into the design, what goes into how you market it,
what goes into your sales pitch, all of that has to be very different. And they're not putting that effort, right? They're not putting the effort in the design end. We have a group chat, Sam, you're in there, where we have about maybe like 20, 25 young Ghanaian guys in the US, right? And we all are interested in soccer. The moment we put the jersey in there, everybody was just like, ah. Do you know what I'm saying? That was the initial reaction. Of course, after some time, it kind of like, it wears on you a little bit. You're like, okay, it's decent. It's not bad. But the thing is, like, you can tell we're not the market. They're not trying to understand what that individual here who actually has the buying power to buy it is looking for, right? And so for me, I'm like, it's a problem that there's a disconnect. You're marketing a product that is here to people whose buying power is here. You're always going to miss each other, right? And so until they start realizing that, okay, the diaspora has the buying power that is here to match it and start marketing and selling and creating the product for the diaspora. When Nike did the Nigeria jersey, do you know where they launched it? They didn't launch it in Lagos. They launched it in New York. They launched it in New York. It was on the billboards in New York, in Times Square, right? And that's what they're tapping into. So, of course, they know they'll sell in Lagos eventually, but they also know that a lot of what they sell in Lagos will be fake from China. So they were not focused so much on that. That's not what their revenue base was. And I think they're just thinking about it in the wrong way, in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing. Excuse me. That's the thing. Mr. You made a comment before I come back to Jeff's. Is it about is it affordability, or is it just not of interest to people? Because we put this jersey out there, right? It's from 2010, and obviously I have one on. And Jeff, how many times, just like you're saying in our group chat that we have, how many times have we even put in that group chat, hey, who knows where we can find this jersey in 2014? Who knows what link that we can? And I literally went to Puma and everything, the website, and try to look. And they even discontinued this jersey because they could not keep up with the demand, right? It was one of the most expensive jerseys that I had actually purchased. I think at the time, I bought it for like almost $170 or something. One of the most expensive jerseys. I don't think it's about affordability, or I have seen like people who are not Nigerian, Ghanaians, who are actually wearing the Nigerian jersey.
I have the Nigerian jersey. I will wear it proudly.
Easy has one. You know what I mean? And he wears it because it's nice. Whether it's expensive or not. And I know you. Even if it's you're probably not one of the folks that I know who wear the Tengana City jersey from Togo or whatnot. As long as the jersey is attractive, as long as the jersey is nice, you would spend the money to buy it. I don't think it's more of affordability, and I don't think we could blame the economy. And I think we're just not doing a better job, because from what I know, when the jerseys are designed, they have to come together as a collective unit, being GFA, to approve it, and just say, hey, okay, this is okay. So again, where is that? Where are those steps that we actually have to take to say, okay,
Sam? And that's the point. I don't think those are two separate things, right? It goes hand in hand, right? The design of the jersey. People in Ghana, everywhere, Ghanaians who are supporting Ghana, anyone who's supporting the Ghana national team has to see them and go, there's a nice jersey, I'll wear it, right? So that's your first checkbox, right? But the affordability issue is still there, because once the people say they like it, I like some of the jerseys. I won't take out money to buy it, even however much. Like, for instance, Man City's black jersey, the black and gold jersey, I think it's like one of the most beautiful jerseys I've ever seen. I love that jersey. I'm not gonna buy it because I went on the side. I was like 130. I'm a United fan, one, but then two, I'm like, unless I have some kind of affinity to it, some emotional connection to it, I'm like, $130 is a lot of money to spend on something that I may or may not wear, right? That's me, right? That's us here. Now take that, and like, now you've designed a jersey. Let's say it's a jersey that everyone in Ghana likes. Like Enoch in the chat is saying, even if he loves that jersey, 10 GH, that's what he's buying, because that's what he can afford. So now it's like you have 30 million people in Ghana, right? You've now built a product. As much as all 30 million people like the product, only 5 million can buy it, right? I'm not saying will, right? Can buy it. Of the 5 million, about 30% of them are going to buy it. I'm actually going to take out money out of their pockets. I'm going to buy it. 1.5 million people, right? Now, of those 1.5 million people, if they all go on the Puma site, can they even buy it? You're not setting up the infrastructure to even cater to those 1.5 million people, right? So for me, it's like everything is disconnected. It doesn't seem as a priority for them. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if there's some other way for them that they're able to justify the expense that is going into it. It doesn't seem like it's a problem they're trying to solve, because Nigeria is not going to the World Cup and their jersey is going to sell more than Ghana's jersey. Watch. So it's not about the World Cup performance. It's not about the World Cup performance. It's also not only about the design. It's everything together, working together. If you're not marketing to the right people, you can develop the best product in the world. If you don't find a way to market to the right people and sell it to the right people, it won't sell. That's just the reality of it. And so, unfortunately, as much as like it's football, we all love it. When we get down to the meat of it, is business. You have to approach it like a business, and if you don't do it, you put a lot of effort into it, and it will yield no results. I don't feel bad for Puma because, one, the design aspect of it, Sam, I agree with you. They're not putting the effort in there. They're not soliciting the feedback from Ghanaians to be able to say, okay, what? Because if they were so, you can't tell me you solicited feedback from all of these fans all over the world, and you came up with the same prototype of jersey for all countries.
Oh, yes.
Like you didn't. You sat in a room, conference room on your own with your designers and came up with something that maybe was cheap to produce or quick to produce or whatever cheap, it was fast or whatever it was. You did not consult anyone, right? So now when you put the product out there, that 1.5 million people I'm talking about, you've now cut them into two, right? You're now dealing with about 750,000 of them who might buy the jersey. You've segmented your own market just by your own doing. So when you don't sell jerseys and you start releasing reports and saying Ghana's jersey is the least sold jersey, what do I care? I'll go buy it in China. 10 years, please save one for me. I'm coming to Ghana in January. I won't give money to Puma because the way they're going about it is not in a way where, one, they're trying to create a product that the fan likes, or two, prioritizing Ghana in a way where they want to make sure that the jersey reaches the right people who want to buy it. Because to your point, it's like if I like a team, I don't always have to buy their latest jersey. I love Manchester United. When I find websites online that are selling some of the old jerseys from 1997 and 1996, and they're even charging more, I'll buy it for the affinity I have for the team. Why doesn't Puma make these jerseys available? That jersey you're wearing, I have one as well. It's torn. I still wear it around the house, and I'm still looking for a way to buy it again. Why can't we buy it from Puma?
You would not find it, and that's the thing that I'm talking about, right?
So does it show that Puma is approaching this from a business mindset?
But again, yeah, and I get it. Puma is gonna do what Ghana is not the only. That Ghana is not the.
It's not their priority
that they have. So what are we doing as a nation? What are some of the? I think I watched Samuel Eto's interview I think a few weeks ago, and he was actually contemplating on just signing with another designer and everything, just to he's been doing a lot for his country to actually just move forward. So again, what is Ghana actually doing? In terms of, you have to understand, we cannot just keep borrowing money from the World Bank or any other place, solicit money just to build it. We need to be able to find another way just to build that football organization. And to me, just like you're saying, United has some nice jerseys and stuff like that. I missed being a United fan. Last year you talked about, I think one of the jerseys that was released, I think the blue one, you said you liked it. They released another white one, or maybe another one. You said, oh, this one, I'm not feeling it. As a United fan, if you really feeling it, you will go get it, just like Jeff is saying. Mm-hmm. And if they made the jersey available, Jeff, I guarantee you, 2014, we lived with the the situational economic crisis. 2014, maybe people's pockets were a lot better than it is right now, granted, and stuff like that. But $170 for a jersey, and people are still buying it so much that Puma could not produce more. And you telling me that we cannot, as a country or as an organization, we cannot actually just put our foot down and say, hey, this is not going to help. Again, actually, you know what? We're going to do that research, and next week we're going to let our viewers know. I really want to know the incentives that Ghana is actually getting from our jersey sales. Maybe we're not getting anything, so we don't care.
That's the underlying issue.
Maybe we're not getting anything, so we don't care.
No, but that's the thing.
It's jersey that we take into the World Cup. I mean, listen, we're about to do bad in the World Cup anyway, so we might as well just start our field.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Sam. I keep going back to it. Whether we do bad or we do good in the World Cup, like if you put me, Matia, if you put me like as like to come up with jerseys and sell for Ghana, I could sell more than $1 million in that 1 month period during the World Cup. Sure. I would sell $1 million if GFA were to give me the licensing rights to their logo and to be able to develop a variant, not the same one the players are going to wear, even a second variant. I can find artisans in Ghana. I will find manufacturers in China or Dubai or wherever, and we can come up with a jersey in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And based on the marketing alone, we'll sell it. Ghana can go and be the last team in the World Cup, and we'll still sell $1 million. Because look, Aston Villa sells jerseys. Like every Premier League team sells jerseys. And every year they're getting relegated teams are selling jerseys. So it's not a one-to-one correlation with what is happening on the pitch determines, what is happening on the pitch will influence it, will push it forward, will push whatever strategy you have in place forward. The pitch, the results will help with that, will influence that. But the U.S. is the perfect example. U.S. will not go anywhere in this World Cup. And by the time this World Cup is over, they would have sold more jerseys than anybody. Not because of the mere fact of how many people are in the U.S. alone, but because of the way they go about selling a jersey. Because there's a national pride attached to it that if I'm born in Ghana, like I'm not going to wake up one day and be like, hey, I'm born in Ghana. But yeah, people can do that. But very few people will be like, I'm born in Ghana. I'm going to go buy the Nigerian jersey, for instance. I'm born in Ghana. Like, Ghana is not performing as well, but I have the Ghana jersey, and the Nigeria jersey was a second purchase. Do you get what I'm saying? So there is almost like a natural, like almost the way I'm seeing it is Puma is getting like potential customers born every day just by the fact that they're Ghanaian, right? And they have now the incentive to buy your jersey, to buy your product for the sole purpose of the fact that they are Ghanaians. It is up to you now to develop a product that fits within their purchasing power, what they can afford, and deliver it to them. And if you're not doing that and you're not making money, I don't feel sorry for you because you're not making the right business decisions. You're making something that is convenient. Like I go back to this. You look at Portugal, all the teams that are sponsored by Puma, we all have the same design going on. Yeah, in the front, it might be a square, it might be a circle, it might be a tiger, whatever. But it's the same theme that is going on. We're talking about 24 different countries. Are you trying to tell me, even in Ghana, look at how many cultures are within Ghana. You're trying to tell me, given the multitude of identities and personalities and cultures in Ghana alone, we're all going to like the same product? Not to say 24 countries are all going to like the same product. So to me, it's like, as soon as I saw, I was like, oh, these guys are not putting in any effort. They're not going to make money, and I don't feel bad for them. And if GFA, I don't know what the legal structure is. I don't know if they can step away and have another, it can be done. It can easily be done. Look at the US. Yeah, it's Nike, but it can be done.
Step away to is that I understand the sentiment, and it's sad, but we don't have options.
Who said it?
Let me see. We do have.
Wait. Let me see. When you say we don't have options, are you saying we don't have options because Nike or Adidas don't want us, and that's why we have Puma?
Yes.
There's a fourth option,
which is
is there a FIFA bylaw that requires us to go with one of these?
Nicaragua did not have any sponsorship.
Exactly.
There are a lot of countries who actually have their own.
Yes,
they run the whole organization by themselves without any sponsorship, and they're able to sell. Yes, you know why I'm so keen on this jersey thing? I want you to talk, before we actually wrap up, because we have a few. You know why I'm so eager about this jersey thing? Assuming Jeff was saying, we're able to cater to this, let's break it all down to 750,000 people, right? We're able to get like a higher percentage of it. Now, news coming to my camp, whether it's not true or not. I mean, obviously, he's been going on for God knows how long. You could deny it. We do know that these players have to pay in order to play for the national team, right? Now, we have players like United States where they get a lot of, not even United States, a lot of, countries who actually make a lot of money from their jersey sales and other things that they actually football paraphernalia that they actually, sell. Now, with them selling that, they can actually use that money to develop their whole national team or any infrastructure they have that will actually just attract players. So this is not just about jerseys. It's about other things that will actually come out of the sale of jerseys. And so when you talk about we don't have any other options, that's what baffles my mind, because it seems like you know what, it's either Puma or nothing. And
okay,
that's what it is.
Yeah, if me, of course, okay, then maybe I shouldn't say we don't have options. We'll have options, but we won't get the benefit Puma is giving us.
Which is, what is the benefit?
Yeah, so Puma is sponsoring the national team. They are giving us they are giving us money and sponsorship with jerseys, including our female national teams and all our national teams. And with that, the other companies were not willing to give us. You understand? And I don't blame them, because they feel maybe our team is not attractive. As I said earlier, I don't think because see, Puma's designs have always been issues. Last season, see the third jersey they did for the cities and the Dortmund, where they write their name, Man City and things.
So this squad got quick. They got so much criticism. This squad,
so why didn't City step away from them? You understand?
It's already been made. They have to sell. They have to sell, right?
Good. So that's have to sell. That I'm not a marketing guy, but what Puma gave us the better option than the others. That's why we chose Puma. Ghana initially.
No. So I want to clarify. So I don't mean to cut you off. When you say Puma gave us a better option, what you're saying is Puma gave us more sponsorship money than the others.
Yes.
Okay.
And they decided, and we had a deal. Nike were ready to sponsor just the Black Stars and leave out the other junior team, the female team. And Puma said no. So if you remember, I got to a time the female teams were wearing the male jerseys, so they look big on them, and that was an issue where people complained. Puma said no, so they'll design a female cut version for the female national teams, and of course the male one for the national teams, and also sponsor our coaches into trainings. They gave other incentives, like trainings in Germany. So if you can recall, most of our technical director for GFA is coming from Germany, and his FIFA is paying Puma is paying him. We have some coaches training in Germany, all courtesy Puma. And our first coach, Raktima Dukovic, the one who took us to the first World Cup, was partly paid by by Puma. So those are the little benefits we are getting.
So sorry, let me see. I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying not to cut you off, because there's a lot of information you're sharing. And I think this is good information. But I think what I'm picking up is the fact that it's not that we don't have options, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
No.
Want the other option.
But then also, it's not the fact that, I think where I'm getting confused is, so why is Puma complaining about jersey sales? Why are they even releasing numbers and saying we're the least jersey sale? Because it seems like at some point, right, the relationship was not going well. Puma was ready to step out. Nike came, and Nike very much was like, well, given the return on an investment, this is how much I'm going to put into it. I'm only going to sponsor the Black Stars, because clearly sponsoring your under 17 and under 20 and your women's national, like, there's no return. You're barely selling jerseys with Black Stars. I'm not going to now go create models and cut out, new cuts for younger players and whatnot, which to me is the consequence of how our business around jerseys have gone, is the best deal we can get. And Puma came back and said, well, you know, if that's all Nike's going to give you, we'll give you more, and we'll sponsor and give you all of these things, with knowing that the return is still going to be the same. So if they went into it knowing that, okay, this is all we're going to get from the Ghana national team, we're not going to be able to, scale more than 500,000 jerseys or whatever the number is and all of that, I think we've all come to accept that, okay, Ghana is never going to be a viable, profitable business for Puma. So why are we having this conversation? I think both sides we both have accepted that this is not going to be anything out of it. And I think maybe that's the problem that we don't understand. Sam and I don't understand, in the sense that we're sitting here thinking that, there should be more we're seeing out of this Puma partnership that we're not seeing. And it's, from what you're saying, it sounds like on the Puma side and the GFA side, they're just like, we need to be a fire home. Puma is just like, we're gonna continue. It's almost like charity for Puma. We're gonna continue carrying you. Nothing is gonna come out of it, and GFA is also not putting any effort into it, and so both organizations have just come to terms with it.
So let me say, I just want to back in 2021, I think we were. I'm not sure. I think it's Morocco or I forgot the country that we actually had a game with, and players who were actually sponsored by Nike or actually had a big affiliation with these other companies, wore Nike socks in training ground. I'm not sure if you heard about that. And Puma almost took GFA to court. Right now, news that came from camp is that they didn't have training socks. Now, according to Puma's contract and everything, they're supposed to be providing training equipment. They're supposed to be providing all these. So why are is it not of good quality? Is it not of of good standard?
I think that is the mistake a lot of people do. You see, Puma provides all those things, but even in Europe, even in the top national team, especially with these grip socks the players wear, most of them are not from their national and their club size sponsorship. I don't think Nike provides grip socks. You see them with the other ones they wear. So for those things, they are fine. The only issue that came up with Puma was a player came to camp wearing a Nike bag where Puma has already provided bags. Where I don't know if you call the school bag type, where Puma already provides, but the player already has his Nike bag on, and the team was moving together, and he was in I think a journalist took a picture of the whole team, and it came out. So for that one, those are issues that even happens in top clubs.
Yeah, on club teams, it
happens a lot, and those things are Puma provides. Trust me, Puma provides everything. But even with boots, you go to. I think before the Brazil game, if you remember, they had a lot of Puma boots and football cleats on the dressing, their what do you call their dressing rooms. But almost every player is sponsored by one particular team, football boots or something, so they can't wear it. Puma provides all those things. The issue with Puma is actually like charity for them now.
Yeah.
For Ghana. I'm being actually, I was thinking that there are other things people are saying. Of course, we have local companies who also provide jerseys. So why don't we leave it to the government? We buy the jerseys, design it the Ghanaian way, the way we like it, and just let them take over. So,
but they won't provide that company cannot provide a kind of sponsorship that Puma is providing.
Good. So now other people are saying the government sponsors that company, so it becomes like a government project. Okay, so now we are giving you about maybe 3 or 4. What Puma is giving us worth of so sponsorship about $3 or $4 million. Provide jerseys and replicas for sales, so it becomes like a national agenda. That one is also an option.
That's not a solution.
Yes. So it's tough. It's tough. But now people preferring the cheaper version too is also one factor, and I don't know how to keep that. Okay, so I think Jeff, you are more of you are good with the marketing things. Someone said in Nigeria, it was with music. I don't know if it can work with sports. That in Nigeria, when there were CD sales, when the artist produces the CDs, he knows that there's a black market where they have the dubbing of the CDs, where they have the fake one. So the artist, instead of producing about maybe 1 million copies of the CDs, he does the 100,000 original copies and goes to the black market people and say, brother, please, let's print the fake, the cheaper ones for the $1, $2, and let's sell it. So when you get a profit, then we share. Yep. So Puma can say, okay, because with this 20, the current jerseys, a lot of Ghanaians are wearing it, trust me, but they are wearing the cheaper one. So Puma can maybe go into collaborate with them. Our people, we know you are producing more of the fakes. So now let us help you produce the fake or the lower grade ones. Then we get a share.
See, but that's the thing, right? It's like, and to me, I'm like, whatever they're asking them, right?
Yes.
Essentially, what's going to happen is what Puma already has to do, because the black market person is not going to tell you that, because Puma is just trying to get $130 from one jersey, right?
Yes.
The black market person is not going to pay you $130 for one jersey, right? So what they're going to ask you to do is, okay, if you want to go into this together, then you need to give me something, because the reason why people are coming to the black market guy is not because they like him personally, it's because he gives them a cheaper product, right? So the black market person is going to tell you, well, if you want to go into this partnership together, right, then what you need to do is give me a product that I can sell to the people who can afford it at the price point. Puma is still going to be forced to now have to think about, how do I produce my product at a price point? So that, in like mental analysis that they need to do, that they're refusing to do, they're still going to have to do it. And that's my whole thing. It's what they need to do is realize that, okay, I'm creating a product for a market that cannot afford $130.
Yes.
What I'm not going to do is create a $130 product. So even in the US, right? Even with they have like the play authentic jerseys or whatever, and then they have like the $50, $60 ones, right? Because
so it's allowed.
So now you have
when you go on the Puma website, you can actually buy authentic or replica.
Yeah,
from the same company.
From the same company.
Okay.
So my thing is, make the African version.
We do have the power. I think we've just become reliant on the fact that, you know what, Puma is doing this. And you know the thing, you know what I like to, Jeff, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no worries.
I think and I mean, this was the issue that just was going around with players training. Cape Coast a while before, when they were wearing the socks, Puma almost dragged us to court. But I think we become
this has always, even in Europe, their grip socks, most of them are not from the.
So again, so we cater to the need of the team, we cater to the need of the national team. So if they are not providing or giving us exactly what we need, we have to find a way to actually just exit that contract.
No, this issue didn't get to the.
It's not about this issue alone. I'm talking about in general, like the jersey deal, for instance, man. You're trying to tell me Ghana we cannot market our jerseys?
Sam, you're not getting it. What he's saying is, it's not the fact that we can't do it ourselves if we wanted to. What he's saying is, we're getting other kickbacks, other sponsorship. Like, we're getting money from Puma in a way where, even if we get somebody who can do the jersey and everything from us, that person's not going to be able to write an extra check of like $4 or $5 million to say, okay, use it to go hire this technical director, use it to go do this and go do that. So
that's the thing. Money is what money does the talking, Jeff. That's what I'm circling back to. Like, if we can actually just market our own brands and our own jerseys, if Puma is not working for us, or Nike is not going to give us that.
So Sam, sorry, let me cut you off. The word you're using, that's what I think we're trying to establish here. You're saying if Puma is not working for us.
But it's not working.
For who? It seems like it's working for GFA. Because, again, think about this, right? GFA is putting in very minimal effort. They're getting a $5 million check. They're getting all of these experts who are hired by Puma to provide them.
Yes.
Puma is providing all these facilities for them. Again, they're putting in very minimal effort. They switch and go to, say, the next best option, who has developed the best product, the best jersey ever. But that person is not giving them all of those things that Puma is giving them. It's actually a downgrade for GFA. It's an upgrade for the fan. Yes. But it's a downgrade for the GFA. That's what I'm trying to clarify.
And if you've noticed, almost every team from Africa going into a World Cup is sponsored by Puma. So Puma initiative in Africa is more like charity to support African national teams.
Yeah, it's not just charity, because when Puma wants to go pitch let's say Puma wants to go pitch Germany or whatever, Puma's pitch is going to say, we right now are the jersey sponsors for 30 countries, to be able to substantiate the fact that they know what they're doing. So they're using this as like an investment, so that when they go pitch the bigger teams, where they get the money from, right? Because if you go pitch Germany, you could probably easily make about 150 million a year from Germany. If you take now that Germany, money, right, and you take 3 million out of it and give it to Senegal, $3 million out of it and give it to Ghana. $3 million. And let's say you take $30 million out of the 150 and you give it to all these countries just so you can keep them as sponsor. You now take them 120 million.
Good.
So for them, that's the business strategy. There is no incentive to fix it.
That is it. And I feel the other companies are more maybe profit or business focused than what Puma. Why we are being Puma is we are being attracted to Puma more, because you see maybe with Nike they have other fields like the MBAs and they do a lot of work there. So we are not really their focus. Let's be honest. So
Nike's sponsoring you.
Yeah, Nike from the apparel alone makes about $2 billion.
You see, so they'll come with you with their own terms and say, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You understand? Adidas too is doing it with the German national team and other things. They are doing other apparel. Adidas with their hoodies and they sell a lot, especially in the UK. You understand? So Puma is more like charity and support for Africa.
Yeah, and GFA gets what they want out of it. So because the two parties are getting what they want out of it,
cool.
Unless somebody goes and says, okay, we're not going to participate anymore, there's no incentive to stop it
at all.
Well, we could definitely just keep going on, but given that our time is up, we'd definitely like to thank everyone who actually watched this. Any of the streaming platforms, especially those watching us all the way from Ghana and other side of the world. I know it's pretty late. Thank you guys, folks. Someone from Pedro Medina watching us live from Indianapolis, Kumasi. I didn't know there was an Indianapolis in Kumasi, but now I know. Freeman, Enoch, thank you for watching and tuning in and commenting. As usual, as Samojan said, he's ready. He's dropped about 15 pounds and he's ready to play. And so maybe he might make the 26-man squad. We never know. But again, we definitely do like to thank everyone. Our time is up, and I wish we had more time, but we're going to try to make this a normal thing going into the World Cup. Jeff, quick one. You have 45 seconds. Wrap up, and let's go.
All right. Well, I think it's been a great conversation. There is a lot of problems Ghana needs to solve. Right now, I think the problem in front of us that we need to solve is going from 55 to 26. I think by the time we meet next week, hopefully that problem would have been solved. Actually, no, it's the 14th. So by next week, we still will be working with this 55-man squad. But I think there's definitely going to be a lot happening over the next few weeks. So we'll keep up to speed with what is happening, and we'll try and keep ourselves informed, and hopefully for a better conversation next week.
All right, Mr. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that one thing from the 55, one thing we should hope doesn't happen to any of our players is injuries. For a reason, before this World Cup, there are a lot of injuries and going on. I just pray we don't get any of them. We have the core team, the main team, and I just hope we pull a surprise in Doha. I believe in my boys.
Of course, you always do. You're hoping to see a miracle happen. But again, we'd definitely like to thank everybody, especially my co-host and my technical, team. It's great seeing you guys again. And, just like Jeff and Mr. said, we definitely hope to see you guys again next weekend, even with better topic of conversations. And we hope to see something good come out of the 56-man squad. Guys, it's good seeing you again. And until then, see you guys next week. Signing out. All right.
They are 4 women. They are beautiful with brains. They are eloquent, decent, wise, and experienced. You have heard many, the funny. Now, it's time to hear the experience and the brainy. Meet Selena, Dorcas, Gifty, and Annette as they present the real in common getting. In common BISSC as in Takrenu assume the real in common getting. Showing live this and every Sunday, 7 p.m. on Era One Radio on Facebook and on YouTube, Era One Radio and on Taibo channel. Kaise, so we see the real in common getting what brabontete, we nyan konkonsa, we the real in common getting.